Alright guys, well we're going to be starting on the new build right now. It's the C-kart. I'm doing the rear end and I've already cut some of the pieces out and I've welded up some of the frame a little bit. Now I've got to cut some more and weld this all up. Yeah. Okay, how I have this frame set up, or how I'm going to be setting it up, is I'm going to have I'm going to have the main frame, and then I'm going to have a little archway that's going to go up above the axle. And you'll see what I'm talking about here. Most of the time after I get done cutting steel, I'll take my hand grinder to pieces and then get inside and get the burrs out. Since it's so dang cold for me to go in and get any hot water to wash these, because that's what I do a lot of times, is I'll just use regular soap water or dish soap, because it helps cut grease out of your way. Dawn or Palmolive or whatever. And mix that in with some water, and then I use that to clean my steel. But I only do that right before I'm getting ready to weld. If I'm gonna weld something, then I'll clean the steel, let it sit and dry, and then I'll weld on it. So I never clean my steel and then let it sit for a week or so, because then it'll rust really bad. So don't want to do that. So I just use regular water to clean off my steel. But in this situation, since it's so cold to even bring any water out, it'll just get real cold real fast. What I'm going to do is just use a towel and some lacquer thinner to clean the steel before I weld it. Get all these burrs off of here. If I leave these burrs on, then it's hard to get the right angle. They bite into each other and then you can't slide the pieces around. Okay, so now I'll set this up and get ready to weld this all together. Okay, I'm going to be setting this up a lot like how I did the rear end for quad. And then this bar will be going in the middle. Probably be easier if I weld this together first, and then put the whole piece on. Got a little bit of bad news today. I ordered for a sprocket for this thing. When I got it in, come to find out that it was the wrong one. I ended up, some of you guys have been wondering about the differences between 40 and 41 pitch chain. Show you. So this is the sprocket that I ordered for is a 40 chain. It's for a 40 pitch chain. And this chain that I have is a 41. And you can see that it just doesn't line up. So I have to order for another sprocket. Now if I was deciding to use 40 chain, then it would fit on this, but I don't have any of that, and I don't want to do that because I like to standardize everything, keep everything simple. So I try to keep everything at 41. So now I've got this sprocket that I don't even know what the hell to do with. I don't even know if I can even send it back to the company. But it's 28 tooth, 3/4 inch bore, and it's a 40 pitch chain. Yeah, dang it. Oh well. Now this jig that I have set up on the table here is the same jig that I used to put this together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these two pieces, put them on the end like that, and weld them. I can weld really good. Yeah, I was going to start this project a few days ago, but after my last video that I did, you guys, I got really dang sick. Really, really sick. I have never been that sick this year yet. That stuff is pretty nasty. Well, guys, I got bad news. I went to weld this together, and yeah, I ran out of welding wire. My 10-pound spool is all gone. Ran down to Harbor Freight to try to get some, but they had already closed. So that kind of sucks because I'm not even this weld, because this one here had cooled off and shrunk, had broken my tacks over here. So now I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to actually finish this thing. But yeah, so that's all as far as I got on it today, dang it. Next thing what I'll be doing is I'll be cutting two long pieces, and these pieces right here will be getting welded on like that, and then arches will come across here and weld it to that. I think if I remember right, the distance in between these would have to be 4 1/8, I think. That's if I make the motor mount the same way I made it on the quad trike thingy. The angle iron is 4 1/8 apart from each other. So these here, when I go to put these on, I'll be making these at 4. I'll be making these, the distances between these two here on the inside, 4 1/8. So that way when I make the motor mounts using angle iron, because I want to use angle iron, I was thinking about using these things as the drilling and then putting the bolts in that way, but I don't like that idea, because then that would mean that I would have to cut out the whole bottom part and then put the grooves in, and it's just too much work to do on the steel, and it's just easier to make the extra angle iron pieces that are going to be on there. They'll be welded to the inside of these things here. Tomorrow I'll be going out getting some more wire so I can finish this thing. Colin and I decided to cut these next two pieces to show you guys what I'm going to be doing here for tomorrow. Grab my trusty neodymium magnet. Can't tell you guys how, I've said this like 18,000 times on my videos, how nice these magnets are. I'm about to show you why. You got to be real careful with them because they're real fragile. Okay. Imagine that welded. So it's going to go like that. The other one here, I don't think I got another one. I'll take this one. Yeah, these are gimpy things. Yes.
Yes, these are great welding magnetics.
And then they'll get welded on like that, and that will be my mount for my engine. Wait. Yeah. That's the front of it. Okay, this is the back. So my engine will get get put on here. I'll have to measure out my distance in between here, and between the inside here will have to be, like I said, 4 1/8. And they're not centered. It's going to be offset because the engine is going to be sitting pull start on this side, and the engine is going to be sitting back more. So I'll have the jack shaft sitting up here, and the tires will be right here, and that's the front of the cart. So the engine will basically be, I don't know, maybe 6 to 7 inch, no, maybe about 5 inches off center from, the center of weight for the engine above the axle. So the engine will be set behind the axle. And then I'll have to measure out my distance here and figure in my... I already took the brake caliper, or the brake disc, and got the hub. Took the hub, painted the hub a gold color, and then positioned it so that way then the shiny gold parts of the nuts will be on the black of the disc, and that's spray painted, just simple spray painted gold. And then sprocket here, I spray painted that white, and we'll have the jack shaft and everything over here, and the sprocket will be down here. So the sprocket will be on the left side of the cart. The brake will be on the right side. The reason being is because once I put the caliper on, those calipers are pretty big. I got using the same hydraulic caliper for this, and yeah, that's a pretty girthy thing. It's going to be sitting about right here. So once I have the clutch on the engine right here, leading down to the jack shaft, coming over, going down to the axle, and then I'll have the caliper here. I should have enough room, easy. So yeah, I better put this dang thing up, because I don't want it sitting around and getting all scratched up and icky and looking all nasty and stuff. And these cuts and stuff are all pretty much the exact same type of thing that I did on the reverse trike quad thingy. 2 cuts at 22.5 to equal the 45 coming up. Same with here and here. 45s here. This is a 45. Now the 45s are not going to totally match up, so I'm going to have these holes underneath here and some holes up underneath here. But I'm not really too worried about that. So that's what we got going on here. Something I was kind of wondering about, you guys. For those of you out there who deal with welding, hey, let me move this camera. Okay, here's something I was thinking about the other day. We all know that the science came out with the idea of taking like you know how like a spider, the spider web is so strong because it can align its atoms in the spider web. What I'm wondering about is if you're to take 2 pieces of steel. Now I don't know if this is actually a way of welding or what, but let's say we take 2 pieces of steel. We take a strong magnet, let's say this is flat stock, okay? We take a strong magnet where the polarity is going lengthwise. We put the steel on there and we start to weld. While that weld is cooling, the atoms in that weld are aligning to the magnetic north and south. So I'm wondering if by doing that, would that make a weld stronger? I don't know. You know, they mess around with nylon and aligning the atoms and that kind of stuff, and all sorts of stuff, and they sit there and they say that it has to do with the alignment of the atoms, and that's what makes it so strong. Well, what would happen in the idea of welding? Using magnetism, right when you're welding, you got molten steel aligning its atoms. Now, I don't know if it would, I don't know, it'd have to be done special, because you couldn't just start welding, because the weld would drip off and stick to the magnet, you know? So it'd have to be done some special way, where the flat steel, the two pieces are aligned, the magnetic north and south are going this way, and then while you weld, the atoms, the molten atoms are aligning to the north and south. Oh no. Huh. There's a little idea for you guys.